Earth debate live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a Ko-fi, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now, we are joined by Neil, Click OK, Sensual Goat, One Deck, and a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server. So, welcome one and all.
Good
Hello.
morning.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi, equals 2.
Hello, good to have you all. So there's a slight expectation that's being put upon me in terms of the information that I may or may not know. Not because of my ignorance or exemplary understanding of the subject of Flat Earth, or in the case of the pre-show, celestial navigation specifically. It's more that when the book comes out, there is going to be a certain expectation upon me to do a good job of representing people. Now, given my highly critical nature of someone like David Weiss when he's out on the road with his fairly standard fair 5-year-old rhetoric that's been highly superseded by us, it'll be the case that obviously I'll want to do as good a job as would be hoped for by my panel members at the bare minimum, Jardo included, who was the one suggesting that I should learn various aspects that potentially are beyond me. I'm not saying they are or they aren't, it's just if there is something that is beyond my expertise, the general consensus is that it would be better served for everybody, for them as their representative, that's me, to know everything, right? Just so you don't get caught out. Well, obviously that's not possible, and when you're out and about and there's people who are intentionally trying to catch you out and trip you up and catch you out, if I could get the two separated, that will be the case. And if it does happen that someone catches me out, so what? I've got a thick enough skin to deal with it, emotionally, mentally, all those things. Now, will my, let's call them fans, be able to cope if I do a bad job on a given day? I'm going to say yes, because that will be short-lived. Even if there's some prick intentionally trying to make me look bad while they're having me on their show to promote a book that will be published shortly, then so be it. You know, that's how life is sometimes. And I'm not going to let it put me off going out on the promotion train of promoting Welcome to Flat Earth, the book, because that's just going to happen regardless. Now, I'd hope if it does go terribly wrong for a few minutes, these things never last very long, on a given interview, that people who are, fans of the show, let's just say, would be reasonably forgiving. That's to say they're not just going to immediately disown me. Now, in the case of my disdain towards someone like Dave Weiss, it's not just me going from Dave Weiss, what a great guy, we think he's the boss, to Dave Weiss, what a prick overnight because he hasn't said the right thing once on an interview. We're talking about consistent ignorance of actual developed argumentation that we've put out there. Approach Dave, me personally, proactively in terms of science and the scientific method, only to be cast down and shot down, and that's not really what you want when you're trying to offer somebody the means to be a good representative and they're just throwing it back in your face. So, as I say, in the pre-show, that's what I was being asked by one of my own, and I encourage anybody to do the same. So, understand this. There's going to be a period where I'm out on the circuit promoting the book. So, once it's done, that'll be me on the phone, metaphorically speaking, trying to get contacts to have me on their show to do a good job of representing this book. Like I say, I hope people who are watching now and know that that's coming are, number one, nervous. You should be. And number two, appreciate that this is a turning point after 10 years. something significant's occurring. Now, we had the Spanish translator sat in on the editing process yesterday. Tedious that it is. I think you'll agree, Neil, it is probably the most tedious part of this book writing process. Would you not agree? He's doing something. He said earlier that he would be potentially undisturbable. Craig's there and he's probably dealing with customers. Anybody who sat in on the most recent process of book editing, the 4th draft, right, it would attest to how boring it is. It's tedious. It's long-winded. It's arduous. And it's rephrasing things 3 times to get them to sound just right. When they're already committed to page, it's just they don't sound perfect. And you're kind of arguing against the mentality that it's a reference book and therefore not necessarily accessible to everybody. If you have a sub-80 IQ, yeah, you're going to struggle to read this book, I'm going to be honest. And if you've got 100 IQ, you might read it twice and then get it. And that's what I would hope for your average Joe normie, right? 100's average IQ, isn't it? That is still the case. That's why I'm using the number anyway. I don't care if it's not. My point is still the same. For your average Joe, my expectation is that they're going to need to read the book twice. And for somebody who's even a little bit smarter, they're going to be rereading certain chapters several times to fully comprehend the chapter. Go ahead, whoever that was. Off mute. 5150. Want to add something?
What's up?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Did you want to add something?
Did I want to answer you? I don't think I heard you. What did you say?
I said, did you want to add something just because you're off mute and your line's flashing on and off, which makes me assume you want to say something.
Oh, sorry about that. No, but since you pointed me out, I would just mention that, for at least from my perspective, well, a good book doesn't need a representative. It represents itself.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. The book will speak for itself once it's out there. I would hope to a certain degree word of mouth will carry that book. And it will. I'm in no doubt of that, but I'm poor. So I'll be out of the gravy train trying to promote the thing and push sales because I want it to make money. You know, as much as it's a fantastic book. And up until now, and I mean that in the most literal sense, I've said to the people helping me, take your time. Right? I want you to go through it with a fine-tooth comb. I want you to be as happy with this book as though it was your own. In other words, I want everybody to dedicate, and for the most part, anybody that's put their eye over it has done exactly that. They've treated it like it's their own. They've given it the consideration that it needs. But that takes time, a lot of it, to get it to the level of polish that it will, you know, need to be. But now I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I've mitigated for the extra time that it took beyond what I first thought it would need. And need is the right word. I need it to supplement my income. You know, I'm struggling. I won't lie. You know, I've been reasonably consistent in e-begging when these sort of times have come my way in the past. This time I've mitigated for it of my own detriment, to my own probably mental discomfort and lack of sleep, by flogging a product just to keep me supplemented. But, you know, I don't want to e-beg. I certainly don't want to sell microphones anymore. I'm sick of it. I knew that would be the case pretty quickly. What I do want to sell is books about the last 10 years of finding out how Earth gets measured flat. And that's something I can definitely get behind and passionately promote without it necessarily exhausting me. So microphones, if you look at the amount of work I've done, you go, you haven't even done that much work, relatively speaking, to somebody who's built a business. You go, no, I haven't. I've built it up just to knock it back down again to keep me going for a few months. And it's almost killed me. It's really hard work, more than I want to commit to something like this. Well, when you do flat earthing videos on YouTube, for me, because it's my passion, it's what I love doing, it never seems like work. You know, I can't remember a time before now, when writing the book, where I've gone, I'm exhausted because of making flat earth YouTube videos. On the contrary. Even now, I'll say, like, doing the shows are almost like having a bit of a rest. So, you know, I want to get back up on the flat earth book promoting train rather than on the winding down a mic selling temporary business train that's just kept me supplemented. But just to speak to the gentleman's point, book, yeah, it will absolutely sell itself. I wouldn't need, or I don't necessarily need to do anything once it's published. It will immediately have a little burst of sales, and then it'll have word of mouth sales, and then it'll sell for the next 200 years if I did absolutely nothing. So I don't need to do anything. I just want to. Yeah.
So this is new to me about the book. I know a little bit about you and not really familiar with you, but so my question would be, is there anything new about flat Earth in the book? I mean, because it seems to be all the same regurgitated stuff every time I check it out.
Check what out?
The flat Earth theory.
Okay. Well, tell me what you know.
Well, I know there's no declination over distance. I mean, there's a lot of things that flat earthers say that are pretty common sense, logical, to me. But there's still, nobody can prove either way to me either. The globe, I mean, a lot of it adds up, but a lot of it don't. I mean, it's tit for tat on both sides. Nobody has any proof either way.
Oh,
so that's why I asked,
do.
is there anything
I do, and so do you.
new?
So you just said distance, though, didn't you? Distance, right? Distance is linear. Measurements of Earth, when you describe miles, kilometres, that's all linear and flat. You understand that, right?
Right.
Right, so Earth's measured flat with miles or kilometres. So if you want to describe anything with respect to the surface of Earth ever, it will be measured flat with miles. So you say no one's got any proof it's tit for tat. On the contrary, if anybody describes any measurement of the surface of Earth ever, it will be described and measured flat. So when you say no one's got any evidence, no, I've got miles. Miles and miles and miles of evidence, and it's all flat and linear. So when you say no one's got any evidence, were you unappreciative that miles are flat and linear and measure Earth? Were you unaware of this?
Okay, I'll give you that, but let me just...
That's not what I asked.
Give you why.
Did you hear my question? Did you hear my question? I didn't ask you to give me anything, did I, sir? Did I ask you to give me something? I'll ask again. So you were unaware that Earth is unequivocally measured flat when you said it's tit for tat, nobody can prove it, could be a ball? You're just ignorant and wrong, sir. Wrong. So you were you don't need to talk through me. You're getting told off. You understand told off?
No, you're making yourself look like a
Sit down,
fucking
shut
idiot,
up.
'cause you don't understand.
Sit down, shut your mouth. You are unaware, sir, that Earth is measured flat with miles. That's clear to me now. Very clear. You were ignorant. You're still talking through me, sir. You're still talking through me.
You only measured part of it.
Shut
You don't know how
up,
big-
you stupid man. Sit down, shut your dumb mouth while I tell you off for being ignorant of the flat Earth that's measured in linear miles. You're still opening your mouth 5150, you ignorant tosser. Shut your dumb mouth, ignorant tosser. Mute your dumbass line. Idiot. Mute yourself.
Flat earthers don't know.
Right, I'm going to mute this asshole because he's obviously lost control of his senses. He's getting told off and can't cope with it. So now I have to stick him on mute because he can't control himself. Dickhead! You're getting told off for being ignorant and you can't shut your hooter. Now I've had to put you on server mute because you can't cope. When I talk, you don't, dick. Oh, you're going to run like a belligerent coward who can't cope with getting told off? Your only tactic is to talk through me, you bunch of muppets. Yeah? Tit for tat, no one can prove either way. Yes, I can! And what can you do when you get corrected? That would be this dick, the one that just ran because he couldn't shut his mouth and I had to shut him up. Yeah? You will get told off by me if you tell me there's nothing new in Flat Earth. Have you got any proof? It's just tit for tat. Nobody's proving anything. Then I prove it with miles and you can't shut your stupid mouth. Can you? Idiot. Now run away like an ignorant buffoon because you got told how stupid you were by me. Yeah? Is there anything new? Took about 5 seconds of talking to me to find out something that was new. Yeah, it's not very new. Miles aren't new. You're just stupid. Unaware of miles? Oh, I'll give you that, will you? What, a minute ago there was nothing new, and then 5 seconds later you're giving me something? No, what you're giving me is a freaking headache talking through me while I tell you off for being thick. Is that clear? Yeah? You can tell me how, oh, I don't really know you very well, but I do know that there's nothing new in flat Earth. Except miles. Oh, yeah, how unbelievably new miles are for you to, quote, give me that. You don't need to give me anything. I don't need anything from morons. What you will do is take it from me. The Earth is measured flat with miles. You'll take that from me when I give it you. Yeah? That is to say, by give, I mean slap you around the face with it like a complete idiot that you are. You got slapped around the face with the flat Earth linear measurement with miles. I didn't get anything from you, and you weren't giving me anything except a headache. Dick.
I mean, we could just get the Earth curve calculator out and show the guy that, and say, well, this is pretty new to you probably. That in the Earth curve calculator, it's using surface level and eye level parallel to each other to say that we live on a curved ball when we're actually measuring angles from surface level. That'd be pretty new for him, I think.
Everything we'd offer him would have been new. But he's arrogant. Oh, there's nothing new. I've already researched it all. Really? About miles? You researched them? I'll give you that. No, you won't. You'll fuck off. Shout out to Kelrix. There's no swearing. Earth is flat. Thank you for the super chat.
So he didn't get the neutral outcome he was searching for? What a shame.
You going to control yourself this time, 50-50?
If you quit trying to make me look like an idiot that I'm not and listen to my questions, I will. But
Yo, hillbilly, you're a retard. You didn't realize miles were linear and flat, and you thought there was a chance it'd be a ball. I'll talk to you like you're stupid.
okay, so I didn't think.
Yeah, that's okay. That's right. I'll do what I damn well please. And when I'm faced with an ignorant moron, I'll point out how ignorant he was. You felt the need to tell me that there was no new arguments. And then 5 seconds later, you found out how wrong you were, didn't you?
There is no new arguments, bro.
So, miles, you were unaware that miles are linear and flat and they ain't ball-shaped, because it seems like you were unaware and you, quote, gave me that. It seemed like you gave me that. Was I wrong when I heard you say you'll give me that in a high-pitched tone? Was I hearing things?
You never, ever, ever. You
Ever what? Measure Earth linear with miles? Yeah, I do. I definitely do. I mean, I've got a taco.
Bro, you just talk over me and then accuse me.
So, talking over me and acknowledging that Earth's measured flat with miles and you thought there was nothing new.
Do you know anything?
Do you ask me a question when you were asked to acknowledge that Earth's measured flat with miles and you were unaware of it and said there was nothing new? You want to ask me something? Do you want to ask me something? Because do you is you asking me something 50-50 and it's not going to happen. You're not going to take charge of this conversation. You're a dumbass. You understand that? You're not in charge of this conversation, I am.
Fucking rude.
So you're going to swear at me, you fucking retard hillbilly? No, you fucking retard hillbilly. Measure miles, they're flat. You were on the fence. You thought there was nothing new and it was just tit for tat. You were wrong.
No, I'm not wrong.
Yeah, you are, because Earth's measured flat unequivocally with miles. What was that quote? I'll give you that. Yeah, you're damn right you'll give it me, hillbilly. It's a fact. It ain't you. You're just ignorant and stupid.
What is known of the Earth?
So why are you asking me something? Miles are flat. Earth is flat. We measure it flat with miles.
You say it's 70% water, but who told you?
So I didn't say 70% water, I said miles. Now you seem to be lying about things I haven't said to you. The words 70% water, end quote, didn't cross my lips. This hillbilly's a liar. You're a liar.
In this conversation.
So I didn't have this conversation about 70% water. You just made it up. You're a liar.
You're a hard dude to talk to.
No, you're a retard, and you're thick, and you're a liar, and you just made up words that I hadn't said.
In this conversation, you didn't say it.
What, I didn't say it in this... Yes, right. I did not say it in this conversation. You will not quote me because I didn't say those words. You are a lying shitbag hillbilly who made up shit I didn't say when you suggested that I'd suggested Earth and 70% water were words that crossed my lips when they hadn't, making you a lying shitbag. Meanwhile, hillbilly, Earth is measured flat with miles.
Okay, I agree with that. What you know of it.
So that's the end of the discussion then. So where you thought it was just tit for tat, you were very much mistaken. Earth's actually measured flat.
No, I'm not mistaken. I understand that the Earth is measured flat, bro. I get that. I mean, I fly planes, and have you even taught that?
Shut up! Don't call me bro! Don't be so bleeding insubordinate, you stupid hillbilly. I'm not your bro.
Okay, then, bitch.
So call me sir. Yeah, that's what you'll call me, hillbilly. I'll call you thick. I'll call you hillbilly. You will not call me bro. You will address me as sir.
Yes, sir, bro.
Get out of my show, you insubordinate tosser. Prick.
He knows the Earth's measured flat, and he's on the fence. What
It's
fence
just
is he
tit for
on?
tat. Tit for tat, it is not. What it is a game of how can I use flat Earth measurements to suggest we measure a ball? That's the game. Alternative games include how can we discredit the man that points out Earth is measured flat by suggesting he utilises the flat Earth measurements to suggest that pi equals 2. Things of that nature are other games that we can play when we're not actually playing anymore. We've already figured out that Earth was always measured flat and there is no other way of measuring it. If you want to believe you're on a ball, you'll start by measuring Earth flat. And if you want to think that there's just a tit for tat, nothing new, and no one can prove it anyway, end quote, hillbilly idiot. Yeah, that's what he said. Nobody can prove it either way. That's a quote. Not like the 70% water, oh, you didn't say it in this conversation. That would be what words you made up or didn't say because you're a shithead. Lying bastard. Yeah, that's what I have to deal with on a daily basis. People coming here and saying, well, you say the 70%... Well, I didn't say anything of the sort. You lying piece of shit. Burn in hell. I didn't say that. Yeah? But what... Oh, you didn't say it in this conversation. Sorry, you've never met me before. This is the first time we have ever interacted. Yet you're going to tell me what we've had in previous conversations. Do you reminisce with strangers? You complete idiot. But no, this dickhead feels like he knows me, doesn't he? Feels like he can talk through me when acknowledgement after a statement that there's no way of proving it either way, it's just tit for tat, there's going to be nothing new in your book. Oh, really? My book that hasn't been published yet, that you know there's nothing new in? My God, it's not even out yet! It couldn't be more new! My God! But yeah, idiot hillbillies decided that the conversation's going nowhere, and you can't prove it either way, until he recognises the very old and ancient miles that aren't new, just thick. Just didn't know how miles worked. Yeah, and anybody else watching who's a bull-believing clown. You don't know how miles work? That's what you'll get from me. And then you'll get what that hillbilly got. You'll get talked down to like you're a retard. That's right. What's that? You didn't know miles were linear and that's how we measure Earth always? What kind of a thicko are you? Oh, you don't like being talked down to. Like you're some sort of mentally handicapped idiot. Oh, really? Oh, really? What's that? You flat earthers are stupid? Stupid dumb flat earthers? Oh, until you forget how miles work, and then who's the retard here? It ain't me, is it? Yeah, miles are linear, and that's how we measure Earth. Yeah, they're not curving. We do definitely measure Earth. It is definitely flat, and that is the only way to measure Earth, but you thought it was ball-shaped. Sounds like you've got mental problems. Have you been evaluated recently? What, you don't like me talking to you like you've got mental issues? Because you don't know how a mile works? Oh, right. But yeah, it was okay to call flat earthers retards and tell them to jump off buildings to prove gravity. That was okay, was it? No, it turns out you, bunch of spastic globe believers, were the ones who didn't know how a frickin' mile worked. Yeah? That's the reality here. Yet you are the ignorant ones telling the world how stupid flat earthers are.
I'm only gonna say this because it amuses me. I mean, it would be interesting to listen to the guy, seeing as he's tit for tat and he's 50-50. What is in his opinion?
Yeah, you are.
So, you hot micing, Peaceful Warrior. Okay, carry on, One Deck.
I was saying it does amuse me when you let these people have a little chance to describe how, in their opinion, what is the strongest point that they feel is evidence for a flat Earth, and what is the strongest piece of evidence, in their opinion, for globe Earth being measured. It always amuses me if I just listen to them for a little bit and see how they stumble. But I don't know if you want to go down that road.
I'm getting told off in the super chat for swearing. I'm so sorry, Jardo. This is why my wife won't let me listen to a whole show. Lol. I'm sorry. Scared, One Deck. I'm so sorry. Thank you for the super chat, though, Jardo.
I think One Deck was appealing to let him give his best globe Earth evidence.
He's not around. It seems on the last couple of shows, there's been a concerted effort to present Ball Earth claims that utilise flat Earth measurements so that we are engaged in discussions after the fact with the flat Earth measurements. So yesterday it was pi being 2. Now that got shut down immediately. And then what do you know? It's being discussed in other corners of the internet how flat Earth debate talk about that subject that we shut down. How interesting that that would already be on the table as a talking point that we are talking about when it was only introduced to us yesterday. How interesting that even when we're shutting it down, it's still being misrepresented as our talking points. How interesting. Yeah, it does make you want to swear. I'll be honest.
They're saying we're saying that pi equals 2?
Yes. When that guy came in yesterday and got told off for doing that, for spouting that garbage, and he got shut down, right? We told him off, right? No, what actually happened was that became our talking point. That's what we're talking about, John.
No way.
Yep.
Like we made explicitly clear to him that pi does not equal 2. That's not an argument. You're putting you're creating an if statement that's going to give you a faulty conclusion. And I'm pretty sure we shut that down.
Yeah, we completely eradicated every single aspect of it. It's not a logical consistency when you're making a statement of fact about a measurement and inserting it into a logical consistency, so we can debate you about whether or not pi equals 2 based on the extrapolation after the flat Earth measurement that you're not acknowledging isn't going to get us saying that your discussion point, yours, not ours, about pi being 2, that's just going to get shut down, like, quickly. And it did. But like I say, it's obviously preordained that was going to become our talking points. Yeah? That's the game, innit? What do we talk about over here? Is that what we talk about here? No. We talk about Earth being measured flat. Is that what's being repeated in the circles ancillary to us? No. Of course not.
So was that, now we got to ask ourselves, is that intentional? Was
Yes.
that introduced so that they could attack that?
Yes. It's being introduced intentionally to attack once we take a position either way. So, like today, as soon as that got shut down, suddenly my stream starts misbehaving. Whirly worlds start going around. Now, call me a conspiratard, but I'm just stating a fact. We're entering into a discussion with a person that's seemingly on our side, claiming to be a flat earther, wants to talk about pi equals 2, after whistling past the flat earth measurement and talking about the calculation that follows, and how that's our value. At which point I went, no, I'm not going to accept any of this as mine. And why would I take a logical inference route from a statement of fact? I don't need to. Whirly world starts, stream starts misbehaving. He starts talking over me.
I mean, that's correct. I mean, I said to Neil before, I've spoken to these people. I've used in a celestial navigation talk, 60 nautical miles per degree. Them words have come out of my mouth. But, that's just because that's what we're told. What's happening is we're still measuring elevation angle. Like you say, whoever's calculated anything thereafter, it's a calculation. Initial measurement is an elevation angle from sea level.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah, you can deny it. In which case, the base principle that you, not me, measure Earth to create this system on screen, if you want to deny a flat Earth elevation angle measurement, you can. Then you haven't got any measurements. So get lost. You haven't got any measurements. What you do want to utilise and accept that we are measuring Earth with elevation angles. Then you get on your knees, accept that you're measuring Earth flat. You, not me, are measuring Earth flat for your system that starts with a flat Earth measurement. Now, if you don't want to use your flat Earth measurement for your system that you need, I don't care. Now, by the same token, if you do want to utilise the flat Earth measurement that's a prerequisite for all Earth measurements, then beyond me laughing at you and demanding that you get on your knees, I mean, I don't really care if you get on your knees or not. I mean, it's just a fact. It's a joke that you'll have to acknowledge the flat Earth that you will be measuring. But miles will always be linear. It's like that guy, nothing's going on in the conversation. Is it not? Yeah, that's right, because miles will always be flat. For everyone, always. So if we're going to talk about the distance to the geometric horizon called Earth curve, then we'll need a flat Earth to do it. What's that? There's nothing new going on. Well, was it unexpected that I would take every word that you utilised to suggest there was a debate going on, like distance, and immediately prove that only a flat Earth can exist for us to ever discuss distance, ever? Does that seem new? Because I'm pretty sure that utilisation of the always flat measurements is new, because up until now we're led to believe that being a flat earther involves telling people how wrong Earth curve is. Yeah, that's not what being a flat earther is. For me, being a flat earther is not giving two tosses about the idiots who utilise flat Earth measurements to believe they're on a ball. That's just some old cult I used to be a part of. Now I'm acutely aware of it, and what do you know? I've got current cult members chasing me down to tell me I'm a child abuser, to tell me that I should jump off buildings, to tell me that I shouldn't procreate. Yeah, that's what I've got. Heliocentric cult members telling me they want me dead. That's what I've got. Well, I don't care. I don't care that you need a flat Earth to believe in your ball. You can believe in it after you get off your knees in acknowledgement of the Earth that you measured flat to achieve that belief in a ball. But it's not my belief anymore, and you don't need to go to the ends of the Earth, aka Antarctica, to scream my frickin' name into the snow, because you obviously want to convert me back to your stupid ball belief. Yeah, you don't need to go nuts when I point out that you're not going to convert me back to the ball. Yeah, this is my superfan tune I'm talking to. You're not going to convert me back to the ball tune with flat Earth measurements in Antarctica. If that's what you want, superfan, you're not going to do it. Get me ball measurements if that's what you want. But I've already studied this more than you, obviously, or I wouldn't be pointing out that you're measuring Earth flat in Antarctica to the point where you want to scream my name about guns. No, these people are chasing us. They want me to believe that I'm on a ball, because it offends them that I don't. All right, I'll stop believing in it. Just stop measuring Earth flat then. Yeah, you want me to believe in a ball? No worries. Second you stop measuring Earth flat, I'll believe in a ball with you, okay? Believe being the operative word. I mean, obviously we'd have to disavow all measurements that we could believe in a ball with, because all measurements of Earth that are creating that ball, well, they're all flat too. I mean, that kind of nonsense will lead you to scream my name into the snow. But I ain't screaming your name into the snow. I don't care that you need a flat Earth to believe in a ball. I don't care. But stop trying to convert me back to your stupid cult, right? I've left. Begone, cult members of the globe. I don't care for you anymore. I don't need to come back to your religion. And trying to convert me back to the ball with flat Earth angle measurements of the sun is utterly absurd. Yeah? Now, fine, you can have them. Keep your flat Earth angle measurements to the sun for 24 hours. Keep them, you can have them. They're on me. My pleasure. You can have those flat Earth measurements. They're on me. Yeah? Good. Now, sod off with your flat Earth angle measurements for a 24-hour period to the sun that you can tell us we've got a ball beneath our feet with. You get on with your day. Just stop trying to convert me back. Now, I know we're not on a ball, right? The jig's up for me. Anyone else here want to go back to the cult? Anybody else really desperate to be converted back by frickin' MC Toon or Simon Dan? Is anybody here in desperate need to be converted back?
Nope.
So who are these people appealing to? Exactly. I mean, maybe Dave McKeegan can answer me this question. It's a sincere question, right? These people are in our community, soaking up our views through the algorithmic love that's redirected towards them. So I'd like to know, who exactly are you appealing to? If you truly believe you're correct, then the people that you're appealing to already think the same as you do. So unless you're insane, you're not appealing to them. They're already on your side. You already have the consensus agreeing with you that they, as you, believe Earth's a ball. Believe all you like. Me, knowing Earth's measured flat, I can't believe it's a ball. So therefore, I can only assume that Dave McKeegan is actually appealing to me. Like, you're appealing to the general masses. They already think they're on a ball. So who's left? Are you banging your head against the wall telling people who already know they're breathing that they're breathing? Because if they already think they're on a ball, why do you need to appeal to them? You don't. So that's leaving one group and one group only, us. The fact they get financially incentivized algorithmically, in other words, they do quite nicely out of their videos, as anyone with a cursory and vague interest in the subject of flat Earth immediately gets directed towards Dave McKeegan, Simon Dan, Professor Dave. That's what happens. So they'll do all right financially out of it, but literally, in their mind, who are they appealing to? Now, if it's not the consensus who are already on their side, it's me. Me as the archetype. And you ain't going to do it with flat Earth measurements, lads. McKeegan, you were in Antarctica too. Did you think you'd appeal to me with flat Earth angle measurements of the sun for 24 hours? If that's what your game was, or unless you're insane and just knocking your head against the wall telling people who already know they're breathing that they've got a set of lungs. Dead.
Saying he may be appealing to himself. He may be appealing to himself, because the more he tells himself that, you know, horizontal is curved and level's not level, and he does live on a globe, the more he drums that into himself, then his globe stays alive. So he might be just appealing to himself because deep down in his heart, he can see them elevation angles. He knows what sea level is. Yeah. He knows all this deep down, but he doesn't want to give the ball up. So he has to keep repeating himself of this nonsense that the Earth is a globe and level isn't level, horizontal isn't horizontal, and it is a ball flying through a vacuum of space. So I think that's where we're up to with these ballers now.
It's just them talking to themselves.
Going insane and losing the marbles.
Them talking to themselves then.
Yeah, basically.
What do you think McTune is going to say, though, if you tell him that you measured the Earth's flat in Antarctica? What do you think he's going to say?
Oh, I know. He told me personally on the phone with me. He phoned me up proactively to tell me. Do you want me to reconstruct it? Where are the guns, Nathan?
Yeah.
You lied! There you go. That's what he said. I say you measure Earth flat, Toon. I said it about half a dozen times minimum while he was measuring it. Actually on the ice, allegedly. I mean, he might have been in a tent of televisions for all I know.
Yeah, what's his comeback? Is he saying he's not?
I don't care. They measured Earth flat. If they measured Earth flat with a tent of televisions, then they measured Earth flat with a tent of televisions. If they were actually where they alleged to be in Antarctica. Then they measured Earth flat with the sun. Now, given the amount of fakery around that particular region, I don't really care either way. I'm not going to put my neck out and say that it is fake or it isn't. What I do know, without doubt, is that they measured Earth flat with elevation angles. Go ahead, plain decoded. Plain decoded, did you want to add something?
Sorry.
One more time? I think it's just hot micing. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. That's the point. I'm not phoning them up from Antarctica to say, guys, you know it's measured flat, right? I've got a flat Earth show and I'll react to them going to Antarctica. Now, reactively, they've measured Earth flat and I can point that out. Proactively, they want to tell me that they've got to Antarctica and there aren't actually any guns after all. Like, really? Why would you suggest this to me? Oh, well, because 8 years ago I left a comment on a video about Antarctica saying that you'd get turned away at gunpoint, like the guy was about a week ago by the Chilean government. He was escorted away at gunpoint for being on Antarctica without any forms being filled in. So, yeah, there were no guns for the guys who went there to measure Earth flat. And it seemed pertinent to McToon, my stalker, to contact me for the 100th time proactively to tell me that there aren't any guns as per my 8-year-old comment. Obviously, he talked through and rambled through and rumpused the 89th, 99th and 100th rendition of he is specifically measuring Earth flat with angles with respect to surface level. He didn't want to hear that. He wanted to address the 8-year-old comment that he definitely overturned by filling out all the forms and going and measuring Earth flat there. So that's good. It's not like I feel like I'm utterly strawmanned with guns or anything. I mean, it's a perfectly reasonable endeavour to take an 8-year-old comment on a rando's video, ignore the sun tracking playlist, and ignore the 100 renditions of the man who you are strawmanning telling you personally that you've measured Earth flat. Those things are perfectly acceptable to ignore in the mind's eye of these idiots who chase us proactively. I mean, what is TFE if not a literal proactive attempt to undermine what we do here? What else is it? They're attempting to prove antipodal positioning. I mean, they didn't. They measured Earth flat. They travelled their flat. They confirmed with everything that they did that Earth was indeed, and always will be, measured flat. But their attempt was to beg the question of antipodal positioning. Why? Well, because of us. It's not because of Jaron. Jaron built up a reputation as a shill to lead the opposition back on the ball. It wasn't because of Robbie Davidson, another shill, only here to lead people back onto the ball. Not because of Patricia Steer, a shill here to lead people back onto the ball. But because of us and a few others that straggle around us. The ones that truly know Earth is measured flat for all who measure it.
Is that hot chick that went to the Antarctica with these guys?
Hot chick? My
yeah,
wife was not there.
Is that the chick that went down with Jaron and Witsit?
The only hot chick I know, my wife was definitely not there.
You know, Witsit did say when he was down there, you couldn't really freely travel, as people want to claim. But you said they weren't pointing a gun at your head. They were selling it in a way to say, well, it's not safe for you to go there or there. But they still wouldn't let you go.
Okay. I mean, I don't care. They measured Earth flat there. So, I mean, how limited their expedition abilities are, I mean, I really don't care. Does it change anything about Earth and how it's measured? Flat, in their instance? No. But, I mean, they have a fascination with Antarctica. Obviously, they're going there, right? So, good for them. So, they wanted to go to Antarctica to explore? No. to measure Earth flat for 24 hours with elevation angles to the sun and weigh things perpendicular to a plane of reference, down, something not actually possible to describe in their religious belief. But there we go. I mean, having in or out isn't conducive with weighing things parallel to a plane of reference or measuring elevation angles with respect to surface level. All of those things are just affirmations that we live on and measure a flat Earth. But I mean, more power to them. I mean, I didn't know that they were going down there to explore. But what's that? They can't explore. They were told that they can't go beyond the boundaries. Why not? Were they under control? Did those little pieces of paper that they signed mean that they had to do what they were told? They're not free-spirited men. More like cucks. You do this, lads. Sign here. Yeah, the paper now controls you. It's like a little magic trick, isn't it? Sign this little bit of paper, and then you won't do what we tell you not to do. Like, oh, right. How very adventurous of you. I mean, if they're discussing the potential for adventure across Antarctica, why didn't they? What, because they had little bits of paper that they signed? Well, all right, no worries. Just wander off anyway. Let's have a look. Wander off over that hill, see if there's a whole hidden continent, like was described by one of the Queen's higher-ups. What was his name on the chronologoscope or whatever it was? Was it Byrd? Admiral Byrd said there was a whole continent hiding with all sorts of resources. Oh, you weren't tempted to have a little look? All right. Sounds like these people are a bunch of cucks. But all they did was measure Earth flat there then. What were they trying to achieve again? Just the flat Earth measurements. Is that all they really gave us? No exploration then. Why didn't you explore? Sounds like $200,000 well spent. There's lots of controversy about what we can and can't do in Antarctica, and you just measured Earth flat there. What a wasted opportunity. I'm sure the men who scaled Everest for the first time felt just like Whitsitt huffing on his vape. And measuring Earth flat. Hey, Keegan, did you feel like the worldly Antarctic explorer when you measured Earth flat? I'm asking for a friend. About you, Toon? Oh, I already got your response live while you were doing it, right? How do you feel about a measurement of an Earth that's flat, Toon? Where are the guns, Nathan? Yeah, I already got your response, didn't I, Toon? Can you nudge Keegan and see how he feels about having measured Earth flat? I mean, he was so incredibly incompetent he couldn't get his camera to move in a circle. Could he? I mean, that's how stupid Dave McKeegan is. Couldn't even get his camera to move around in a full 360 rotation. Like, Keegan is utterly stupid. Incapable of even using a tripod correctly. What a moron. Meanwhile, what he did get, did he get some angles to the sun like Toon? Maybe you could tell me about the guns there, Keegan. Yeah, you can ask me about guns too. Yeah, Keegan also measured Earth flat there. Yeah, they all did. There is no exceptions to this fact. That's how Earth gets measured. I told them before they went. Yeah, they kind of knew. I mean, they still went there anyway, didn't they? What for? To explore? Nah, to get those flat Earth measurements. And phone me. Great job, lads. Great job proving that we measure Earth flat. So,
How
yes.
do they have your phone number?
Whose phone number?
Yours.
You want my phone number?
No, I'm saying, how did he get your phone number to call you?
He joined the show.
Oh, okay.
Because it's such an echo chamber, he managed to join the live stream from Antarctica. I mean, it's so inaccessible and such an echo chamber that you can literally join when you're on the Antarctic continent. Like, literally, someone who has stalked me that I would describe accurately as having contacted me hundreds of times. Yeah, I'm going to call that man a stalker. That's right. That man stalks me. What's that? You don't like the term? Let me present Exhibit A. 100 times plus, him contacted me proactively. Why? Well, to tell me about his religion that I left. That's why. Yeah. Well, that man managed to join from Antarctica. My echo chamber. An enemy, a stalker, managed to join from Antarctica. For what? Well, to tell me that he was measuring Earth. Like on screen now, this would be an elevation angle. It's only capable of measurement of a flat Earth. It's an angle. Upon hearing this terrible news for the 100th time, that very same stalker told me that there were no guns there. That apparently I'd lied about there being guns. I hadn't. I mean, being called a liar by a stalker, only to be proven wrong 6 months later when someone's escorted off Antarctica by guards with guns. Yeah, well, that would prove that I'm definitely not a liar, but that's an 8-year-old straw man that avoids the awful truth that they're measuring Earth flat there. Unless you're McKeegan, then you're incapable of using a frickin' tripod. Yeah? I mean, I don't know if Dave McKeegan was dropped on his head, but, you know, tripods are a complicated thing. But it's not to worry. Toon definitely got the full 360. Every angle of a flat Earth that could be measured was measured. Right, Toon? I can still hear it echoing. Where are the guns, Nathan? You tried to deflect with measurements. Yeah, they're on screen of a flat Earth. They sent you nuts. I still want to hear from Duffy. Yeah, I could just see him in the background. Yeah, sitting on a stool while McKeegan and Toon were screaming my name into the snow. Yes, I just want to know, how much of an echo did you hear, Duffy? I did see you in shot. So you definitely did hear my name screamed into the snow. I just want to know, how long did the echo last while my name echoed into the snow? I'm asking for a friend. Asking Duffy, that is. Yeah? How long did my name echo in the snow, Duffy? What about, he tried to deflect with measurements? Did that echo around too?
Yeah, Nathan, I wrote, remember at the time, I'll read it out for you, I wrote a few words about that expedition. It's called Eratosthenes Returns. McToonstones, what have you done? 2,000 years later, and you're measuring angles to the sun. McToonstones, the Earth is measured flat. McToonstones, the Greeks all knew that. And your sundial #experiment has just double proved that. Vertical and horizontal, nothing to do with curves. You've just shown us the angle measurements using the surface of Earth. McToonstones, when you gonna learn?
Awesome.
Did he offer you to go down there, Nathan?
No.
If Will Duffy said, here's the money, I want you to go down there, would you go?
No, Will Duffy has suggested that that exactly was the case, though. You realise that Will Duffy is a liar. That's what's out there. It's suggested that is the case.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's not. Will Duffy's a liar. But that's what you've got. That's the standard. For you ballers, idiots, I like to call you, your standard is fraudsters and liars, turncoats and shills, measuring a flat Earth. That's your standard for proving a ball. If you want to take TFE, that's what you got. A shill, a fraudster, a turncoat, and a couple of cowards, and a CGI special effects expert measuring Earth flat. That's what you got. After travelling parallel to surface level, measured in the black box data of their aircraft. So after travelling across a flat plane, they measured a flat Earth with directionality and orientation only capable of description with respect to a flat plane. Horizontal. Like Earth, because that's what they are measuring. Shout out to Duncan McLeod. You shouldn't rhyme that with that. And that's that. Says Duncan. Thank you for the super chat. I mean, would you prefer he was wearing a hat as he sat on the mat?
So do you think Witsit is a shield too, or just Jaren?
Do I think Witsit, with his free energy babble and ether talk, is a shill? No, I think he's totally legit.
But to be fair, though, he hasn't
Definitely
said the
no
Earth
flat
is a globe,
earthers.
whereas Jaren
Do you
has.
think they're shills, or do you think they're just actually not smart at all? They're dumb.
I don't know. I mean, it really
Fucking
doesn't
globers,
matter.
aren't they?
I mean, let's be honest. If you look at Jaren's track record, it's not difficult to believe he is a shill. Would you not agree? No, I'm not saying he is a shill, but I'm just saying it would be very easy to say he's a shill, wouldn't it? The answer you're looking for is yes. Regardless, Earth's measured flat. I don't know if did Jaren take any elevation angles like this on screen now? You see this? This is what they did when they measured Earth flat for 24 hours with the elevation angle measurement to the sun. I wonder if Jaren did this. Maybe. Who knows? Was he just walking around talking about how ice wall could be rearranged or some crap? Talking about a marathon with his hoodie up.
Yeah, looking at all this and thinking about all this, I mean, what the hell were they thinking anyways? I mean, go to Antarctica to observe a sun or whatever? In the meantime, they knew all along that the argument is not the sun, but the measurement. How do we freaking measure all this? How do you get from point A to point B on this plane? So the fact
that's not how
that
they think, though.
yeah, but the fact that they didn't even like, I mean, that should have been the first part of their so-called experiment or whatever they want to call it. It's like they have to first address how they get there, and then worry about the sun once they are there. But the argument is obviously in the measurement itself, meaning they never were flat earthers. None of them. They were assholes. Liars.
Okay, the only thing from the gold side is they saw that flat earthers only use Gleason's map, and if you go down there and observe a 24-hour sun, it debunks the Gleason's map, and if you debunk that map, then it could only be a globe. That's how they think.
But that shows the lack of understanding that they suffer from.
Yeah, it just means they're ignorant.
Yeah. I'm not very funny. No, they do understand. They try and explain to you how Earth curves measured. They will use examples like Eratosthenes measuring angles off the surface of Earth. When they show you the Earth curve calculator, it'll show you surface level parallel to eye level. So they fully understand how Earth's measured because that's how they describe it themselves. There's no way out of it for them because that's how it is measured. That's in all their curvature proofs, apparently. Alberuni, measuring heights of mountains.
So all that proves is they are liars.
Surface of Earth.
Don't attribute to malice what could easily be accounted for with stupidity.
Yeah, I agree that one of the beautiful things about this program is there's no need to categorize anyone as shill. You just look at the arguments, and their argument had no basis. And I think it was hatched before the whole measurements thing came on the table. So they had to go through with it, but it was kind of a Pyrrhic victory or defeat even, because it was already blasé. I mean, it was past its time. So it may have worked in the past denouncing or trying to destroy a map, but the narrative here has gone beyond that way before. And and just I was thinking too, someone asked, why do they do it? Who are they appealing to? And I think their primary function and their viewership is because certain people enjoy feeling smarter than others and are overjoyed that people still believe the earth is flat. And sometimes when I venture into the comment sections of any of those videos, that's what it's usually about, how stupid flat earthers are. So it's like this bonding experience, group bonding or something, cult bonding.
Yeah, isn't it sweet? The Dumbos of this world need to unite together in how smart they are by pointing at how dumb flat earthers are. The irony being, like at the beginning of this live show, that that guy was average guy. Perfect example. And in his mind, I mean, I understand that there's a discussion to be had here, but really nothing's really changed and nobody's proving anything. It could be a ball, it could be flat. You don't really know. What proof do you have? That's a guy who's come to the subject and is now, as close as you could call it, on the fence. And it was like, no, there isn't anything new. It always was a flat earth prerequisite whenever we measured Earth. It's just you weren't aware of that. There's a disconnect that you've been pre-programmed with from literally birth to believe that you're on a spherical surface in spite of every instinct and measurement and every fibre of your being knowing otherwise. You retain this belief. And you and the rest of the Dumbos of this world can unite in my comments section, tapping each other on the back about how smart you are. Oh, the irony.
Yeah, it's really actually hilarious irony. And but you know, the fence sitters are playing a part currently, because I have a few acquaintances who are fence sitters, and they play the safe role socially of just mentioning that they're not sure, which I think is an advance from 15 years ago.
Yep.
They don't get vilified by everyone around them or disowned, but I have heard a few of them mention this. So, sometimes it annoys me because they don't want to be sure. Maybe there's a part of them that doesn't want to be sure. So,
and that's the way you're wrong. It's not that they don't want to be sure. They don't want to be wrong and want to be broad or open-minded. So they know that one of their own values, intrinsic own values, is to be open-minded, to not out of hand reject things, or cognitively to be able to hold different positions simultaneously. People are told that that is what it takes to be cognitively capable. It's like, okay, yes, your shorts video has told you that if you can hold two different positions simultaneously, that makes you intelligent. Therefore, you better abide by it when you come across something like Flat Earth. So instinctually they say, I'm so open frickin' minded, I'm going to entertain this, and we haven't figured it out, I don't really know yet, I haven't done it, aren't I smart, because I'm being so open-minded. And then you come across me and I go, no, you're just ignorant. Yeah, I've been here 10 years, and I'm going to tell you, because I now know. And I don't care, I'm not going to stand on ceremony or care that you think it's difficult to communicate with me. No, you're just ignorant. Now I'm going to tell you Earth's flat, with something that you find quite surprising, like miles. And when it happens, you can't quite freaking believe it. Oh, well, I'll give you that. You won't give me anything. I don't need anything from you. I wasn't asking you for anything. You've come to me, you've sat in front of me and told me there's nothing to discuss here, because you want to seem open-minded. And yet I've got disdain for you and your ignorance, haven't I? Because, yeah, there isn't much new. It was always flat. We just didn't realise because we'd been indoctrinated. Could be the cry of a man who doesn't want to take responsibility for his own bleeding ignorance. Yeah? Now I can sit back and laugh at how stupid I was. It's hysterical to me now. But I can take ownership of that. But when people say, we've been brainwashed, it's the hidden hand, they've lied. Oh, shut up. Get over your stupid, ignorant self and accept how dumb you were. Yes, somebody else potentially was using that to control you. Oh, woe is you. Meanwhile, your dumbass still thought that curved linear miles were possible until I pointed it out. And now you recognise the awful truth that Earth is obviously and observably measured flat. By all accounts, that's all we can ever measure Earth as. And your ignorance led you to believe that, oh yeah, miles weren't linear. No, they always were, nothing's new, but for the fact that you had a religious belief in a ball that you were never standing on.
Yeah. For example, I'm thinking of this one person I know, and I say he's afraid to know for sure because, well, that's my impression, because then he would have, perhaps he'd feel some responsibility to then have to be a bit more, coherent talking to people. He would then know. And so if you know, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, knowing brings responsibility in certain ways.
Oh, absolutely. I give people a choice. So you get here, you find out it's flat, like that guy, 5150. You're like, okay, so you now appreciate that Earth can only be flat if you're ever going to measure it with miles, because they're linear. That's how miles work. They only work if Earth is flat. So if you accept miles, you accept that Earth is flat. It is quite literally that simple, if you want to accept that measurement. Not me, I don't give a crap. Let's just get that clear. Don't start telling me about me and my miles. Yeah? It's just that's what miles are. Now, once you accept that, you've got two choices. Now, you say, accept the responsibility. Oh, that'll be previously watch all of my shows, dedicate a bit of your time each day to listening to the arguments unfold, go back through some of the old shows, listen to the Celestial Navigation education get put upon us by 10th Man, go back and learn the Black Swan. Then you take, that's responsibility, that's you taking that responsibility, learning the arguments. Alternatively, don't be a dick about it. Yeah? My wife, for example, I have said up until now, oh, she doesn't care. She's just a normal average baller. She's got nothing in this race, no horse in the race, doesn't care. No. She absolutely knew it was flat. She just chose not to be a dick about it and start telling people. She just got on with her day, in other words. Oh, at the point that she found out it was flat, she understood it and then didn't do anything with it. Why? Well, because she didn't have the time or inclination to learn it. And she'd rather be talking to her husband about kids and mortgages and where we're going next, what classes are on. Things that families do rather than flat Earth. Normal things, yeah? So she doesn't want to spend her time with her husband learning what he does at work. This is work. Flat Earth is work for me, yeah. Shocking, isn't it? People in the comments telling me to get a job. But this is work. In other words, I have done the responsible thing as a flat Earth YouTuber and dedicated my life to learning the ins and outs of the arguments. Now, it might not be to the standard that everybody would hope. In other words, there's always room for improvement, as you can listen to in the pre-show from Jardot's point. Absolutely valid. You're always learning. But ultimately speaking, you don't have to be a flat Earth evangelist. You don't have to take that responsibility. You can just know it's flat. And then you don't have to feel guilty when you nod along because somebody says, people all over the globe know that the planet's warming up. And you can go, and just nod. And you don't have to say, actually, you don't have to grow a bleeding neck beard, is what I'm trying to say. Actually, I got that the other day. Someone was like, in the videos I've been putting about the guy that got taken away from Antarctica. Well, I had to find a video that had the words Chilean government and a picture of a man standing with guns. Basically what I put into Google as a search. Yeah. So I found the first image that had Chile and a man with a gun. And I used that as a flash, so I could put like a flashing up image of something to do with Chile and men with guns, right? And someone in the comments comes along now. They didn't say, actually, in that tone that neckbeards do. But they were like, actually, your pictures from Chile itself, there's no ice and snow there like there is in Antarctica. And I'm like, oh, really? Oh, I'm so sorry. I wasn't actually there to witness the moment he was taken away at gunpoint. And neither were the BBC, as I understand it. They did not have the foresight to see that happen. So no photographs were taken. I'm really sorry. You're like, but actually, your picture of Chilean guards wasn't taken on Antarctica. And you're like, no, it wasn't, no. Actually, Earth still measured flat. What's that? No response? Just talking about where the photo of the men with guns is? Really? You really want to carry on this straw man? Well, did it not make Toon look stupid enough the first time around? You want to come to me in the comments with your neckbeard and your actuallys. How lovely. You don't need to be that guy. Just know it's flat because you know what a mile is and then get on with your day. Don't be a dick. You don't have that responsibility. It's not up to you to educate next man. The real reason, and don't even deny it, anybody who denies this, I'll just shoot you down so quick. It's because you want to feel special, isn't it? You have suddenly got a bit of knowledge, flat earth that is, that others don't. You found something out that they don't know, so instinctually you want to lord it over them. And don't even pretend that's not the case. It absolutely is. Now, you can dress that up. I'm not talking to you necessarily, Ventriloquorum, and your friend in this example. But generally speaking, people like to feel that they've got one up over next man. Like we were talking about in the comments, in all irony, when the people of the comment section are taking the piss out of how idiotic the flat earthers still are. I can't believe there's still flat earthers all around the globe. Ha 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 ha! I'm going to tap you on the back, aren't you funny? Yeah, we're really funny. No, you're idiots. But you want to feel like you've got something up over and above the flat earthers. So you feel special. And everybody does it, because why are half the flat earthers flat earthers? Because they want to feel special and lord it over next man. I know something you don't. And what's that? Earth's flat. No, and you're an idiot moron. No, I'm not. We might have free energy too. That's where the conversation
Can I play
that? Sorry, go ahead.
Devil's advocate for a second? Yeah. Well, there is something about the demolishing aspect of flat Earth to a lot of other sort of fake discourse. And for example, I've had conversations with women who have confessed that they don't have a child because of global warming. So, there's a lot of life decisions that people do make, well, or they say they do, right? So there's a lot of connections there, and sometimes knocking over one domino, you can't do it forcefully, though. I do agree, and you can't lord it over someone because they'll call you pedantic. And I mean, we've all been probably guilty of this at some point, but
I don't know. I'm picturing all sorts of things. I've got to be honest, Ventriloquorum. So here's me picturing you sauntering up to this rather special-looking lady at the bar, and she's like, "No, I never had children. The world's such a terrible place." And you saying, "My darling, let me tell you about this special thing called flat Earth. It's okay. You can have my child. It's all okay."
That's a good one, actually. Someone should try that. It may work.
Don't have children with that woman, is what I would be saying to you. Step away from the bar, skank.
Yeah, it's probably an excuse anyway, right?
Or you could have asked her. You could have asked her, "Where's the greenhouse for these gas emissions?"
Oh, you'd get into the container with her, would you?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, no children, eh? Anyway, this was a fun diversion. But yeah, just around at this point.
Nathan,
you just around at
last
this
time I
point,
checked
just one sec. Around at this point. So if you find out Earth's flat, if you come to the show for the first time, highly unlikely. More likely you're watching a Simon Dan video. But if for the sake of argument, by some stupid, crazy, weird world, you manage to find this as your first flat Earth video, how ludicrous. Don't be a dick. Yeah, it's measured flat. Yeah, all measurements of Earth are flat. Yeah. The globe was made with those flat Earth measurements. Yeah, shocking, isn't it? But now you know that. Oh, right, you don't believe me. It's not about belief. These are facts. Oh, right, you want to go and double check. Okay, I'll wait. You got 3 minutes. You back? You checked. Miles definitely still linear. Yeah? Okay, so you now know it's flat then. Yeah, you don't need anything else. Just get on with your day. You still got a mortgage to pay, right? You still got a job to do. You still got a family to feed. Do those things. Enjoy them. You're not here for very long. Don't worry yourself about flat Earth. Just know it's the case. Yeah. There's people who want to tell you that you're kept under control and there's a hidden hand and it's really all about 9/11 and you might get free energy. And you could waste your life with that shite if you choose. But me, I'm saying your better option is just know it's flat and get on with your day. Don't need me, don't need anybody else. Just get on with what you were doing. But no, it isn't a globe. That was just a religion you were born into without your awareness being made aware of it until now. But now you're aware. You don't have to do anything with it. You don't have to feel special, like you need to lord it over your neighbour because he doesn't know it's flat. You don't have to tell your neighbour. Because if you do, there's a good chance he'll argue with you and you won't have the capabilities of telling him why it's flat, like I've just done. Yeah? You were lucky enough to come in front of a load of flatties who managed to take you by the hand and lead you on the right course, or in the case of 5150 earlier, point out that miles are linear. That's it. Once you've got that, just get on with your day. Don't be a dick. Or buy my book, and then you can be a flat earth ninja.
Well, I just told this guy I was working with, I said, I don't want to ruin your day. And the other guy said, why? What are you, one of those flat earthers? I said, no, I shouldn't have it that way.
Yeah. Instinctually, one of the people who's going to ruin his day is a flat earther, though. Right, any more for any more?
Yeah, did you just say something about a book? Because that's what I was going to ask. Because last time I tuned in, I thought I heard you said you're talking about you're about to make a book. So is that out?
It's being finished off. The last editing stage, if you will, is being done. So for an example, we're on the 13th chapter, I believe, and it's a celestial navigation chapter, so I need to get in touch with 10th Man so he can cast his eye over it now. I've had Brian cast his eye over the bits that are relevant to him. Adam's cast his eye over almost all of it because he's been the one. What's it called when they're doing the? Is it stenography? The typing. QE's obviously glanced his eye over it and given us huge chunks of material, which we've had to, as we put it, de-QEify. In other words, make it sound like me rather than QE. Most of the arguments are like that in that regard. It's sort of QE's arguments through the lens of flat earth debate, originally written by me, polished by about 5 people subsequently. But that's all done. It's all, I mean, strictly speaking, it could be released tomorrow. But if I was to say that to anybody who's like, well, hold on, you're talking about my argument in there, it needs to have my approval. And that's kind of how it's going. Everyone wants to... At the beginning of this show, I got Jardo going, I want you to do a good job of representing the celestial navigation argument with a really good understanding of latitude and longitude and what comes after the flat earth measurement. And if someone puts it to you, I want you to be able to answer it concisely so you're not made a fool of as you represent me. That's the general consensus. It wasn't that concise, but that was the general discussion in the pre-show, right? Well, with that in mind, each and every argument that I've gone through in the book, each and every talking point or demolition of a globe or black swan has got the original author, obviously much of this is QE, hence he's probably spent the most time in front of it, wanting to go through it and say, I approve. Yes, this is of a satisfactory standard from my perspective, given that it's me who authored the argument originally. It doesn't matter that it's my words and my take on it. They still want, not editorial approval, but they want to know it's right. So at the moment, we're going through celestial navigation. That's going to be a 10th Man thing, and he's going to get his sort of final say on whether or not he's happy with the words that have ended up on the page. Now, coincidentally, 10th Man was the original person there when I did the first draft, when I did it verbally, and then it was typed up. So I did it, into the mic with a bit of ushering along from 10th Man and the publicist. So that's how the book originally turned into a first draft. Now we're on the 4th draft, and there's going to be one more crossing of I's and dotting of T's, which should take a lot less time than this one is. Because in some instances, people aren't happy with the way their argument's been put forth, and they do want to make alterations to the way I'm putting it. And that's fine. I've allowed it to a degree. I'm now running out of money, so I do want it to just come out. And it could. It's written. But, people want it to be perfect when it does finally come out. So that polish has been through the mill 2 or 3 times, and it will go through one more time. It will come out in 2025. I am supremely confident. So it's very soon, given that we're halfway through the year already. It's imminent. It's been 2 or 3 years in the making now. So, yeah. Very soon, to answer your question.
Nathan,
Yes.
For the book, the last few weeks, there's been this argument that's been coming up, or discussion concerning a mile being measured. It must be a flat line. That when you say a mile or a distance, that is based on flat measurements. And in discussions with other guys here in Switzerland, it comes up that they say, yeah, but wait a minute, if I take a measuring band and I measure my waist, then, I measure a distance, and my waist, it gives me the circumference of my waist, but that doesn't mean that my waist is flat. So, but I've heard your arguments behind it. I do understand it, but I'm just curious if you are addressing that in the book. Because that's been a point that...
yes, I understand. The combination of yards, linear in nature, is what defines a mile. Now, unless you're going to suggest that you've got a mile-long waist that you're wrapping a tape measure around, the mile, a distance measurement across land, is still linear and always will be. So if you want to say, yeah, we measure Earth flat with a linear mile, but I can measure this orange non-linear with a tape measure. Yeah, you could take that linear inch in a floppy measure and wrap it around the circumference of an orange. But miles, like a standard that we measure the surface of Earth with, they're linear.
Yeah, I would like to just point out that that has been a point that's been coming around and that has been taken out of context and used arguably, justifiably, because there's a misunderstanding about this, and I'm just curious if that point is addressed in the book, because. It's kind of like a newer subject that's been coming up in the discussions.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the title of the book, Welcome to Flat Earth, was changed from All Roads Lead to a Flat Earth, as the general way the book was written in the third draft or second draft was to take it from the original concept of just housekeeping questions and explaining how we came to them all, to how each and every one of those points, like the diagrams on screen, always come from flat Earth measurements. Now, in second or third, I forget which draft, it was that way round. All roads lead to a flat Earth, as opposed to all measurements of Earth are flat, which is where we've ended up. So the subtle alteration along the way hasn't been too difficult to incorporate as we've been editing the book. Again, it is part of the editing process that has changed over the couple of years that the book's been written. So, yeah, I can see what you're suggesting. Is that new argument incorporated? It's like, yeah, every single time that the book's worked on, the most recent up-to-date arguments are incorporated into the text. And then when we go back through it, minor, subtle changes from all roads lead to a flat Earth to Earth is measured flat. Those alterations do get made on the fly. And there probably will be things that we'll catch on the, my God, I can't believe we're going to say it, 5th draft of the book, which hopefully won't be a draft, it'll just be an editing process, but still, strictly speaking, we'll be going through it for a 5th time. But yeah, that will absolutely be incorporated. How Earth is measured with miles. I mean, also, people's fat bellies get measured with miles. Or maybe they don't, I'm just missing something, and it sounds like a segue and subversion away from the Earth that's being measured with miles. When people say, I can measure my fat belly, yeah, you can, you fat bastard. Meanwhile, we measure Earth flat with linear miles, don't we, fatty? That's what I'd say. If someone tried to segue away, I'd embarrass them by calling them a fatty. You always want to talk about your fat belly, don't you, fatty? I'm talking about how we could be walking across the plane of Earth's surface with a linear mile measurement that's always flat. It's linear. It's how we measure Earth. But here we are talking about how fat you've gotten when you wrap that tape measure around your fat belly.
Yeah, well, the fallacy is in that when the tape measure was created, it was created on a flat line. And because it was applied to my fat belly, therefore then that tape measure becomes a measurement of circumference, which it doesn't, but it is interpreted that way.
Exactly.
And it's a pretty good fallacy, you know?
It's a good little magic trick. Yeah. Oh, well, therefore we can describe these miles as circumferential value. No, you can't. That's a rearrangement of the concept utilised when you say mile. And I'm just not going to have it anymore. No, you can't do that. If someone's like, I can wrap a tape measure around my belly. All right, you're wrapping a tape measure around your ball Earth that you've measured flat to create mathematically. Because that ball at radius 3959 is a derivation of an angle measurement to Polaris at its minimum. That's the outside extremity of your ball you reify. So you need to measure Earth flat. So it definitely isn't an outside edge of a ball that you're presupposing you can wrap a tape measure around like your fat belly. I'm thinking no.
There's the expression also in English, something is a yardstick of something else, meaning yardstick, obviously it's a stick, it's a straight, hard surface, it doesn't bend.
I think you've just mistaken what they actually say. It's the yard hula hoop, I think you'll find. This is standard. This is the obvious like yard hula hoop that we all use for this, isn't it? It's the standard. This is the yard hula hoop we gauge everything by. I'm only judging you by this yard hula hoop, like I judge everybody by the same yard hula hoop.
An oblate hula hoop, a yard oblate hula hoop.
Yeah, these measurements are all linear, and when they're applied to Earth, they're linear. So, yeah, I'm fine if you want to derive or calculate radial values and call those miles and describe the in to the down that we have on a flat surface, parallel and perpendicular and all the other axiomatic concepts that you can't use on a globe that you've created with flat Earth measurements. So in this transitional period, yeah, the book's getting a slight alteration, subtle though it is, to incorporate those facts that the argument has subtly changed because there isn't an argument anymore. Prior, it's if we take these flat Earth measurements and acknowledge them as flat Earth measurements, you can use them to say how a globe would work, and I can use them to say how a flat plane would work. We can compare angles on a globe to angles on a flat Earth. Now we say you can only have angles on a flat Earth. What's that? You want to say how many angles and degrees you'd see of this sun on a globe? Then you won't be using this concept of degrees then, because you need a flat Earth for that. So there isn't an argument. The minute we describe something in distance terms, miles, it's going to be flat. You say you don't want it to be flat, you want it to be curving. You don't want the linear measurement anymore. You don't want that. Okay, kick it to the curb then, and you haven't got any miles to claim. Oh, what you must use miles, linear and flat. Yeah, on your knees. Yeah, you're measuring Earth flat with miles, then you understand that. Oh, I will give you this. You're not giving me anything. I'm demanding you get on your knees. You're the one who wants to use these flat Earth measurements. A minute ago, you didn't. You didn't want them to be Earth. They were just conceptual. We weren't measuring Earth. What miles? But now you want to use them again, right? You want to talk about how far away something is. Linear. Flat. It's a mile. That's it. You're on your knees on a flat Earth to use these. Or don't. I don't care. But that's it. It's game over. There was never a discussion. These notions are definitely incorporated into the book as it progresses. Any more for any more? We're going to round out a live show.
I was wondering something.
Go ahead.
I like maybe you don't have an answer for this right now, or you don't want to answer. But how do you see your in the next coming year? Say, how do you see your YouTube channel changing or evolving? If you have any plans to do that, I have a request, and one is once you put the book out, maybe if you could make a video essay kind of based around the book. And then 2 is I would love a video of like your best blow ups, your best insults. Cause I love those when you're just like going off. And I think that would get a lot of views if you had like a highlight clip of all your biggest insults of like Rumpuses and all those guys.
Yeah, I'm trying to change my standard in regards to the last one, so my best blow-ups. No, I mean, I'm getting told to not do that. But, I mean, I get that 50% of my audience loves watching that. I get that. I'm not decrying you, is my point.
Favorite.
Adam would back me up on this. There's plenty of other people like yourself that just say exactly the same thing. They just want to hear me tear a strip of borders. I'm leaving gaps, and it's just...
Yeah.
Roboting. You're roboting.
Yeah, I love
You're roboting.
that stuff.
You're roboting.
And then also, and then I was thinking, if you did a video essay, you could think a video essay would pair well.
Gotcha. Video essay, highlight reel of blow-up clips. If you could just pop yourself on mute, though, you are roboting straight through the middle of me. Yes, indeedy. Now, as I say, there's 50% of the audience that absolutely despise the fact that I get angry with ballers and insult them in vulgar ways. And they're trying to tell me to do quite literally the very opposite. On the other hand, there's a good chunk of the audience that just wants to hear me tear a strip off the people that they despise because they've been maltreated by them. And those people see, I don't know if vengeance is the correct term, but a bit of vengeance in my treatment of those people. Now, I would suggest that it's done for dramatic effect 90% of the time. 10% of the time, they do actually irritate me, especially if it's flat earthers. I'll be honest, more often than not when it's actual irritation rather than just over-dramatized reactions to get a point across, make it more dramatic. When it's actual irritation, it's normally flat earthers that do it. Jaren's always going to be the example of this. I literally lost sleep over Jaren, irritated with his inability to put a decent argument across for Earth being flat. He can demonstrate exemplary research skills to the point where he's even impressing Brian with things that he's pulled out of the bag, seemingly from nowhere. And you're like, wow, I didn't know that. The last one being the association with, I think it was Big Bang. No, that's the Matrix. I can't remember what it was that Jaren had pulled out of his arse that had impressed Brian that he passed along. Something to do with the creation story.
It was Alfred Russel Wallace, who is part of the Bedford Levels thing against robotism, that he was one of the originators prior to Darwin of basically Darwinism.
There we go.
So, yeah.
So that little tidbit came from Jaren. So you're like, okay, so you can pull out these bits of information that if you don't know that Darwinian nonsense has come from an opponent that Robotham was in court with, like, small world. Yeah, really, really, really is, isn't it? And who's giving us this information? Jaren. So you're like, wow, that's amazing. You'd think he could just explain that an angle's coming off a flat plane like this on screen now. It's really basic. But no, he seemed to balls it up every time. Quite, not even balls it up. Understand it enough to be able to say, no, we're dealing with a tangent? Like, what? What? I can't quite believe my ears. You're on my side? Definitely not, is obviously the case now. And while this is unfolding, everyone around me is going, give up on Jaren, it's looking bad on you. Looks bad on you because we all know he's a shill. And you will eventually get tarred with that brush when it's really glaring that he's a shill. People will think you're on his frickin' side if you don't stop trying to help him. And I'm like, this is keeping me up at night. He's a flat earther. He's got 130,000 people watching him. Why can't he know these arguments? They're really easy. So you go and try and help the guy out because you're losing sleep over it. Actually getting upset is my point, 10% of the time. And who's it with? A fellow flat earther? Nah, he was never a flat earther. What's that? Am I calling him a shill? Oh, no, definitely not. I'm sure it's all perfectly above board. Perfectly natural. How did he do on Netflix again? Interesting, you say? Edited wrong, of course. Of course. Nothing to do with him. If you want to lead the controlled opposition, then you put someone like Jaron in place. That's what you do. Meanwhile, who gives a toss if he's a shill? Earth's measured flat, much to my frustration. Now I can just say these things because it doesn't matter. Me saying he's a shill, me saying he's not a shill, it doesn't matter anymore. Because he's not on our side anymore, is he? Right? So it doesn't matter. What matters is I had an inability to communicate with him when he was allegedly a flat earther about how Earth was measured flat. Seemingly it was an uphill struggle with all the best arguments that we developed and refined to the point where we could just put them across in 2 or 3 sentences to someone like Jaron. Easy to understand, easy to comprehend, easy to mess up instantly and say he's wrong. What's going on here, I used to think. Well, I mean, you can call that being a shill. Who cares? Earth's measured flat. And now life's easier because seemingly the people who are alleged to be on my own side aren't fighting against me. Now they've all exposed themselves. I mean, suggested that they now believe it's a ball. It's like Tiger Dan did. Remember Tiger Dan? Shilliest of all the shills, the original flat earth shill for this wave. And what did he use? Oh, the azimuthal equidistant North Pole centric globe projection, otherwise known as Gleason's map. Yeah, he did. He did that 10 years ago, didn't he? It's almost like they've only got one playbook. Like, get a load of people together to follow in the footsteps of the great and almighty Gleasons, and then show how the Gleasons doesn't work and disband them all. It's almost like we've seen this happen before, isn't it? Yeah, it's exactly what we saw happen before. Right about the time that Jaron came on the scene. Tiger Dan was already here, making videos. And then he found the Gleasons wasn't working, and obviously he buggered off permanently because it's a ball now. But happy days. Pat Steer got the guy on his show. Remember back in the day, 10 years ago? Seeing Tiger Dan on Flat Earth and other hot potatoes. Those were the days. There's going to be people who are listening to this that are like, what are you babbling about? Yeah, 10 years ago. They did exactly the same thing that they've done in Antarctica with the Gleason's map. Literally, play for play, the same exact thing.
I remember Tiger Dan.
You remember?
I'm in a place.
You remember Tiger Dan?
I do, yeah. I had nothing to do with him. I had no connection to him. I talked to him, never followed him, never did anything. I heard it. He said something like he couldn't make Australia work and left. That's the last thing I heard. Okay then.
But when he said he couldn't make Australia work, all he did, if you take like when people take multiple Pokemon cards and they'll cut out parts of the card and layer it on top of the other card so it looks 3-dimensional. That's kind of what he did. So he's taken a cutting knife to all the continents and cut them out of the Gleason's map. And then before your eyes, on video number 8 of his 12-part I'm going to prove a flat Earth, and then, oh no, actually I can't get this Gleason's map that I'm creating from the Gleason's map to work. Because he's constructing what he says is the flat Earth, and all he's doing is putting together the Gleason's map. This is 10 years ago.
Yeah, he's building his load.
Yeah, but they haven't got any more plays than that. That's the only play, because here we are 10 years later with the exact same playbook coming out.
I'm waiting for Whitsitt to turn. I'm waiting to see what happens with Whitsitt. He's not going to agree with the rotation, but he'll probably agree with the whole being in the sphere thing at some point.
Right, I'm going to round out this live show. We're going to carry on the after show. So with that, I'm going to say another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's after show possible. And, of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. Once again, stay tuned if you're watching on an after show. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.